Hello, everyone. How are you?
Okay, I'll do the intro.
You can still put that in.
No, I definitely will. Welcome back to the channel. This is Middle Class Problems. We are back with another podcast episode. This is episode 4. That is Aveshin, that's Sherwin, that's Aakash, and myself is Lindo. And yeah, today we're going to talk about a summary of the year, right?
Pretty much, I think the podcast is going to be like a sort of year in review kind of thing. And yeah, I'm just going to go straight from the top.
Okay. Smooth transition.
But yeah, 2023, so I think it's been eventful for everybody. I'm not really sure. Because Lindo, I actually didn't see you very much this year, so...
I wasn't absent.
Yeah. But it's okay. What was one change in your life over the past year that surprised you the most? Whether it's a new skill, hobby, or habit, or anything comes to mind.
Change.
I quit alcohol.
That's actually a pretty big deal.
That was a big change.
That is a big deal.
Not quit, but sabbatical. Long term
How
sabbatical.
long is your sabbatical going on?
It's supposed to be 6 months. I'm 4 months in, so that habit really did surprise me. Because as you guys know, I used to drink. I used to
be there.
Yeah,
Used to be down.
It's like you
Give
know.
me an insert footage of some drunk Lindo moment.
There is a footage actually from the birthday party, like that. Yeah.
We need a clip of that. The waiter pouring the shot
Yeah,
down his throat.
Like I remember I recently reviewed my Instagram feed, and I posted the photo on my birthday where I was holding the Heineken, and I looked at the Heineken now. I'm like, whoa, that's some dangerous thing. So yeah, no, I'm really glad about that though, because it really did change my life for the better. Wait, I'm not an alcoholic. Wait, I'm not an
I don't think
alcoholic.
you need to be an alcoholic to see a benefit from not doing it, but that's fair.
Now you're like confidently ordering your non-alcoholic beers.
Yeah.
Do they actually taste?
No.
But then why do you still drink them?
Because when I don't drink, people feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
There are people who, when I don't drink, they literally don't know what to do with themselves. I've seen it. Like they don't know how to interact with me. They feel guilty or whatever. So the non-alcoholic thing kind of helps them more than me.
That's
So
such a interesting perspective. I
very
never thought about it.
considerate.
Yeah.
So it's not like to scratch some itch or anything like that.
No, if I wanted to scratch an itch, I would have just drank alcohol. I'm gonna go straight for the vodka, straight for the tequila, straight for the rum, straight for the whiskey.
Any hard liquor under the sun is getting gone.
But like, has there been any non-alcoholic beverage that you've had that you think is like you liked it, that you would have again, even if you had the option?
The abstinence gin
It is
actually objectively. I'll never drink gin again. I'm joking. I will. But it's quite good.
Yeah, you're not the only person that doesn't drink alcohol that was surprised by abstinence gin. Yeah, like it really, which is a bizarre thing because gin by itself just tastes like poison. But people have like somehow gin with like soda water. Like it's weird that a lot of people do like that. So yeah, fair enough.
I mean, yeah, I think it's like similar to how, like people just drink like whiskey with water and.
That's not a really good combo.
It depends who you ask.
Depends
Some
who
people
you
do
ask,
like
yeah.
it. Like you will acquire.
I think people who
taste.
really just like the taste of whiskey on its own enjoy whiskey and water.
I'd rather get like a 500, 600 rand whiskey than just drink it neat.
Hard liquor is not my thing.
Yeah, neither. But like, you guys, any things that surprised you all? Doesn't about yourselves that you've learned this year.
I don't know about surprising, but I think the even though this didn't start this year, like I think I'm pretty sure now, which is kind of a big deal for me, of like photography and cinematography.
Yeah.
That is the thing. Like I think I've struggled with like music, drawing, animation, 3D modeling, game design. There's a YouTube. There's been a whole lot of like hobbies that and I don't like putting stuff down. I keep just gathering more stuff.
Yeah.
But I actually really think cinematography is like the thing. Not to say I'm gonna stop doing the other things, but I'm like, I think I'm truly interested in that.
Yeah, I think that's very evident as well from the stuff that you put out, because I think sometimes people, they pick up these hobbies and it's like they kind of just do it for the sake of it.
Mm.
But it's like your consistency and just how passionate you are about it when you speak about it. It's like, oh, okay, this is like a genuinely deep interest of his.
Yeah, I think so. So like, curious to see what happens going forward, but I'll need to see what happens with all the other hobbies because I'm still not dropping them.
Yeah.
The hope is to be able to do all of them. And I will figure it out. But yeah, I don't think it was surprising. The thing wasn't surprising, but me actually finding a thing was surprising.
Okay.
Because it was kind of left field, and even with how I got into it, it was pretty hella random. I just like grabbed Sherwin's camera once, like, huh, this is kind of fun. Yeah. I like the way the button go click every time you take a picture.
That's exactly what I got into.
Yeah.
Like, huh.
And then I was
Okay.
like,
Kinda
oh,
cool.
this is yeah, it was quite. Yeah, it was the hike we did on Cape Point.
Cape Point. when
Yeah,
you
I think I took
the
the happiest Lindo picture. There's something here, so I think that was a pretty big deal. Yeah.
And like, do you think that's like related to your like just love for art in general? Because I think I see a lot of your like your color schemes and stuff that I see in your drawings. I see it in your photos as well. Like it is a running theme that you have.
Yeah, I think the art part was like always gonna be there. I just think I need to figure out the media.
Okay.
And so yeah, the colors and like the surrealist colors. I think even I needed to figure out how to get there, and there's a lot of experimentation over time. But yeah, I think it is all the same thing. Because again, I said I'm not gonna be dropping drawing and all of those things. I think at some point I would like to figure out how to combine a lot of them. Like the really cool thing would be like make a song and do the music video and have animated elements all in it.
Okay.
Like that feels like a really cool thing that I'd be able to do if my skill set was like where it should be.
Send me the beats when you're ready.
Yeah, bro,
I
like,
need something.
no,
I need
hear
something
you.
to generate.
I hear you. I will say, yeah, having a job it like takes a lot of time.
Yeah, that
Like,
is
It's what holy shit. So yeah, it is quite tough trying to figure that out, but yeah.
Okay. Sherwin, anything about you that surprised you? Things
I
that
don't
you've learned?
On that topic of photography, like this year for me and that has been a bit of a rut, a creative rut in that sense. I haven't taken as many pictures or videos or stuff as I wanted. I haven't felt the need to grab my camera.
But
that's interesting.
But you started your page this year though.
Yeah, I mean, posting on its own, that I always just struggle with doing regardless of this. Like even last year when I was really into taking pictures, posting is just not something I immediately think about doing.
Have you thought about like any particular reason why you felt that way?
I'm not entirely sure, honestly. Like I have so many pictures like edited and stuff already done.
I'm still waiting for my golden hour shot.
When was that taken?
Last year.
That's hard. Okay?
Like,
Like he knows.
I think we're past 1 year now.
Really, like that backlog just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But now I'm like slowly getting back into it,
Okay.
and especially with the cameras we plan to buy, I feel like I might reignite.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? Retail therapy.
Retail therapy.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not getting it for the purpose of reigniting
No.
said passion.
No, no.
I mean, it's a happy side effect. I'd say.
Yeah, I will say, because it's like whenever I do speak to you about it, it's like you have a genuine like interest and passion for just how cameras are made in general, and it's like you can also explain it pretty well. So it's like I know you. Yeah, so this is your thing.
Yeah, I'd say a lot of the times like the issue is being excited to pick up your camera and shoot sometimes. Maybe sometimes the camera has a play in that. If you don't like using your camera, you're not gonna like take a picture.
I mean, you also did say that you don't like carrying it around sometimes.
I hate it. When you put it on your neck and it swings from side to side.
So wait, let me try and explain. So are you saying is it the physical, like the feeling of having a camera around your neck, or what a camera around your neck signifies while you're in public?
The feeling of
Like physically
having that heavy object around my neck, swing, and having to carry it everywhere.
Oh, really interesting.
That's what, like the camera I do plan to get is pretty small. It's considered a travel camera. It's a very good camera. No.
Someone else carry his camera. Okay, interesting. I would have assumed it was the other part. I don't think the physical.
I don't care if you're like, hey, it's a guy with a camera.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
Is that also? I'd say I've taken gym a lot more seriously this year.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that as well.
Oh,
More consistency. This man's
Yeah.
going in the 6 a.m. sessions.
I mean,
Really?
Really?
sometimes
Oh God.
it's.
Sure.
I hate every second of it.
Like, go
You wake
anyway.
up in the morning, the sun isn't out. Like, why am? It's not a job. Why am I doing this?
I've tried going to gym at 6 a.m. and I'm just like, nope, blanket.
Yeah, but then in the evening, it's like you have so much time.
That is true.
It's
I
easy.
would love to be able to actually function in the morning to do that, but I actually think I can't.
Yeah, I think to be able to go to gym at that hour, but then having the willpower to go to sleep at a reasonable
Can't
time
do
the
it,
night before.
Is it
Yeah.
full in the morning?
Yeah.
Oh, we see
No.
that. Now I'm definitely not doing it.
I think that might be actually what my issue is. I don't think it's waking up early. I don't want to
It's going
sleep,
to sleep.
early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is if I can figure that out, I think I'll be able to accomplish anything. Like truly, I think my life will be in order.
Yeah, I think like
If I can figure out how to do that.
like on weekdays, like it hitting midnight is like time for me to get into bed. I'm not
Yeah.
necessarily asleep at midnight.
I do feel like the days when I maximize my morning is when I feel like, okay, I can just power through anything.
Yeah.
So I think morning efficiency does
Are you-
need to be taken into
Are you a
consideration.
morning person?
No, but the days I do maximize my mornings, everything else goes well. On
Then do you
average.
sleep earlier because you've like accomplished what you wanted in the day?
No,
Like,
so,
do you
like,
have any compulsion of staying awake?
so my current sleep time is like 7 hours, 7.5 hours. So I
Okay.
can sleep at like, I'm doing this work from home thing again. So
Okay.
so I just sleep at 11, wake up around 7, 6:30. So
Okay.
so it gives me, so then I just wake up and obviously I stay in the blanket sometimes. But like if I get out of bed early enough, then I can do more things and just and then I feel more productive and all that stuff.
Okay. That makes sense. Well, I had a very interesting year with regards to like learning new stuff. So
Yeah.
I think that the biggest thing for me is like having an interest in martial arts like my whole life and then actually taking one up this year and then,
Yeah.
like staying consistent with it as much as I have.
I'll say like maybe it's because you started doing it and then I was like, oh, he's just doing it. I've become so desensitized to the idea of
Fighting.
you started like cold turkey, started doing Muay Thai, and we were like, yeah, okay. And then it's like a few days and like, yeah, I was fighting someone, like, oh, okay, that's useful. Yeah, like it's like, yeah, that's pretty normal now. And then like he is boxing, he's boxing, I'm boxing. Like, when did that happen and why? Like, it's become a very regular thing.
I think it was a pretty big deal for me because I think it's like I wanted to see like how far I could push myself because I always knew I could do it. It was just like you always see these things and you're like, can I actually survive a fight? Like, what am I going to do if I actually get hit in the face?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like actually having those questions answered was a pretty big deal for me because like, oh, okay, I can actually do this. And it's like that's why when I actually wanted to compete and then we went for the tournament
Oh yeah.
and I saw that guy's face get bust open. I'm like, I'm not doing this. So because I went to my coach and I was like, look, I know I'm pretty good and it's like I do want to actually try fighting in some kind of competition. And he was like, look, there's no health insurance for you. There's no protection. Whatever injuries you have, you're gonna have to foot the bill yourself. And like literally you're gonna sign like a sort of agreement that if any injuries you suffer, the sort of body that runs the Muay Thai tournaments, they're not liable for it at all.
Oh.
So I was like,
How
I
much
don't
you
know.
want to fight, kid?
So then you told me about the white collar boxing, and I was like, okay, if this is like a pre-controlled event, let's try boxing out. And then I started that, and that was like a whole different level of like learning stuff. And I will say boxing has pushed my fitness further than
Yeah,
Muay
it's
Thai
pretty-
has.
pretty nuts.
Pretty intense.
And the fittest I've ever been in my whole life.
Mm.
And it's kind of crazy that like I have an actual fight
Yeah.
on the 1st of December. Like I don't know if the video is gonna come out after that, but like kind of
Yeah, it is.
insane.
As I've said, like that you
Yes.
said that, Mike. Yeah, we're going. It's like
Yeah.
he's fighting someone
I actually
Yeah.
can't wait
at
to
an
see it.
event.
he fought the gym leader yesterday.
The gym.
The gym
leader.
leader on the
Crazy,
Pokemon
man.
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's fair.
Oh, you can just walk
Yeah.
through. I think it's okay.
Mm.
But yeah, that was like I think the biggest defining moments for me because I think that, like I said, a lot of personal questions were answered about like how far I could push myself, and it was like getting into that state for me was really interesting because I was never in that place of like being in that position, having to fight somebody and thinking about thought, like meta thinking at that point, and it was just different and also just kind of cool that I can I can fight.
There
now.
we go. That's a real reason. Yeah, that's
I
a
can
real
fight now.
reason.
How was your composure after getting smacked in the face?
I think one thing is that like I sort of don't really take notice until the next like, when I actually feel sore the next day.
I don't mean like, I mean some people like they tend to like break form or like try to like bend away and like face away from it.
Oh no, that's the thing is like that's one of the things that Dave knows that I need to work on is that like I absorb hits way too well and it's not good because long term that's not good for you. And it's like you can get hit as much and I still be fine. I might win the fight, but it's like taking hits to the face all the time is just not good.
No.
And
How many times do you think you've been hit in the face from the start of the year?
I'm gonna put it like over 100 at this point.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah.
This man
Because
just gets
I have
stronger.
I've not been hit in the
dangerous.
face ever.
He gets stronger with
Like-
each hit.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, like I
That's
said, I
dangerous.
think my philosophy about combat sports is still the same. It's
What
like,
is your
which is
philosophy?
why-
which is that no, like for anyone, like I
Kill or
still,
be
Yeah.
killed. I don't
Game
know.
is the
no,
game.
it's like I think
The game is the game.
one I view it as a sport. It's
Okay.
like it is like my sport. It's the one that I've been the most passionate about like in my whole life, and I view it like that. It's not like I have a drive to want to cause harm.
Injure.
So-
I mean, that's also what I would say if I did have a drive to cause harm. I wouldn't say.
and
Fitness.
yeah, and it's like I think everyone should do it. Like try it at least once because I think that level of being in that position of thinking about like what you're gonna do next, that game of mental chess that you play with another person. I think it's so. I like the benefits it's had for me as a person has been so sort of interesting because it's like I'm so much better at making split second decisions and like handling anxiety and sort of being in positions where I'm feeling under pressure. It's like
I think it's more you're just in the moment.
I'm just like I'm a lot more conditioned to handle those types of things now,
Mm.
and like I said, I think everyone should try it. But my philosophy about it is, like when you get hit in the face, one of two things is gonna happen. Either you're gonna be like, I can't do this anymore, or you're gonna be like, oh, this is okay, I can carry on going. So it's like, yeah, see which side of the fence you fall under, and either side is fine. Like,
Yeah, we both said like, okay, like, we'll find out in a month or
yeah,
at the end of the month.
yeah.
I mean, even apart from sparring, the fitness aspect alone is crazy. I don't think I've ever done this much cardio
Yeah,
in
same.
my life.
Same.
It's really fun, and like I think also I met so many interesting people just
Mm.
at these places. Like everyone just has these professions that and then also they fight. So it's like yeah. So it was just like a really wholesome experience in general to like start at one place and then go to another place and have all these people just be. I think you also said the same thing. It's like the people at the boxing gym are just super nice.
Everyone just very open.
Hmm.
Like hey, like if after session, like hey, good shit, man. Let's move you.
Okay.
Mm.
There's people at the gym are very in their own zone.
But I think
Very-
that is the
Yeah,
nature
yeah,
of
man,
it though.
It's not in a bad way. Like they're purposely ignoring people. They're always just focused on.
I think it's the nature
Mm.
of like the regular exercise is a very much solo pursuit.
Yeah.
You are doing that with boxing. You literally have to fight another person. Like there's
Yeah.
always another person there. So fair enough.
Yeah, it was just a really like nice experience, like in general. Like as much as like I've been injured quite a bit, it's been good.
I saw this man take some punches.
Yeah,
Like oh my god. Like he was sparring against some big guy.
yeah. It's it comes with it. Like
It comes with the
Look
territory.
at us do. Yeah.
it comes with it.
No, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's I think that's been like my biggest sort of consistent thing that I've done throughout the whole year.
Mm.
So yeah. think moving along from that, what's something or surprising that you learned about us this year, everybody, from each other? Like something that you didn't expect to find out about the other person. I can start off because like I thought about it. It's like, one, I didn't know you were this interested in Yu-Gi-Oh. Like,
Yeah, honestly, I'm agree with that one. But when I see you late at night playing Yu-Gi-Oh all the time, I was like, what?
I did not know that was gonna be all.
yeah, because I was
Guys,
like,
I'm grinding.
no, 'cause, like I expect like all of us are Yu-Gi-Oh fans. I mean, that's like undeniable. But it's like you're a fan. Like
Look, I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh, I think, close to the end of last year, beginning of the, but I really got into it, and I don't know what happened, and I started watching some really interesting YouTubers, like, so I started with this guy called Dada Doya, who I started watching, and then I just went from there. The rabbit hole started. For that guy, all his friends are also Yu-Gi-Oh players. I subscribe to them as well. I subscribe to some other, like the whole network. Like, kind of remember when we first interacted with Caleb City?
Yeah.
Similar thing. Him and his friends, they started.
Yeah.
So something similar. But then, like, you know, I think Yu-Gi-Oh is just a very. When I get home, it's just open Yu-Gi-Oh. It's like, okay, today we're gonna build a little 40 card deck, and then I'm gonna see what this deck can do against other players in reality. And that's it's really relaxing. It's such a relaxing thing. Also, I understand the rules of Yu-Gi-Oh. As convoluted and as complicated as they are, the rules make sense. Because like with Football Manager, like, yes, I really do like Football Manager, but like, it is also managing, right? And it's like, I don't know. Like, it's starting to get a bit too real.
okay.
Damn, you even threw some Yu-Gi-Oh questions into the quiz.
Yeah, I think, and someone actually told me that the Yu-Gi-Oh question, they got it wrong and they didn't expect to. But like, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh is just a passion of mine, man.
I
can
interesting,
see.
your description of it being a relaxing
it's very
because
therapeutic.
that's really interesting because like again this is me. Even if I was playing a card game, if it is against someone else, I will always try to win.
No, I'm there to win. But
yeah,
the thing
but I'm
is,
not relaxed. I'm trying to win, so that's really interesting.
Oh, I should actually. Okay, this is very
It's
nerdy
he's
now.
so good.
No, that's actually fair.
There was a duel where it was a 19-turn duel that happened like on Sunday. Guys, this is the first time actually.
I'm sorry, I didn't know about it.
Tell us
No,
more.
this is no. People don't care about this. People don't care. People don't care about
There's a
this.
summary.
Basically, you know Buster Blader?
Yes.
There's a deck around. There's an archetype deck around.
Okay.
I use a Blue Eyes deck.
Okay. Oh.
But
okay.
I won. The Blue Eyes deck,
that's
the Dragon
impressive.
deck beat. Yeah. So
No one else is gonna understand it. That is impressive.
So that's when I posted. Oh, I want to start streaming because if this is how it is, then
I think you should.
Yeah.
As a segue, I don't know when you're gonna find the time to do it, but I think you should. You have the personality for it.
Also, like, you clearly are very passionate about this game.
it's just the flavor of the month,
Egg.
even though it's been the whole year.
That thing has been like a consistent thing.
I don't think you're like. I would be surprised if like you showed me your ID book and there was a Blue Eyes Dragon in your card. Like you carry it around.
Give them the old 5-piece of Zodiac.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, well, that was an interesting one.
Yeah,
That's a
and
light-hearted
like,
one to bring up.
I think with Sherwin, like there was one day you and I were sitting in the kitchen, the man came and started wind whistling.
Sorry, what?
Wind whistling. And I was like, you can wind whistle?
That was. Wait. Brandon explained.
Okay.
Give us a demonstration.
Give us a demonstration.
Yeah.
You did not to answer.
I don't know if
You can't
I'll
fuck it up
try.
now.
Yeah.
One shot.
I'll try. Oh my god, the pressure.
It's fine, we can edit it out.
So yeah,
I can't do like a lot, but
like that was one of the most surprising
it was.
things.
It
I
is
can't-
just really
It was,
bizarre.
it was a work day,
It was a work.
and then I got into bed to go to sleep, and I was like browsing YouTube and stuff, and then there was just this video of this Swedish woman in like a forest outside her campsite, teaching people how to wind whistle. Like, for some reason, I was like, huh. And then I sat in bed for like an hour. This was at like
See,
half
this
12.
is the part I find crazy.
Yeah.
This is like half 12. And then practicing how to wind whistle. And I just walked into the kitchen. Well, Akash and Abhi are sitting there like, what? That come out of you?
So wait, let's peel this back, right? I understand going into bed and then browsing YouTube for and finding something interesting, but then to then attempt it for an hour, it's either that you were so fucking bored, or you have some inherent interest in
Wind whistling.
or like I'm trying to extrapolate from there.
I will say,
like,
do you think it stems from your
beatboxing.
time of playing the flute as a child?
I never played
Oh,
the
you played the flute? Oh, that's interesting. Tell us about your time. You played the flute?
No.
I find this out now.
No.
I didn't play the flute. There were music classes in school. You had to choose between guitar, violin, piano, and the flute. And I chose the flute, and I was the only person that chose the flute, so they didn't have the
Oh,
class.
no.
But maybe so it's the yearning,
It's the
for
yearning.
what you didn't get.
A flautist.
Yeah.
A flautist.
I
Yeah.
don't even like the flute.
I think you might love the flute.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. To be fair, it was one of the more bizarre
Yeah.
things.
You tackled trauma. Well done.
Yeah, maybe it's healed.
Yeah, you've healed your
I
trauma.
became the flute.
That's why you've been so upbeat. Like, it makes sense now.
That is really interesting. Actually, it was one of the more
It
bizarre.
was
things.
surprising.
I've never felt such pressure to perform as in that moment.
You could do it.
Wow.
And
Okay.
by far, I think the most surprising thing that still I think about sometimes during the day is that this man in the Cape Town area, we might have an actual Nicolas Cage expert among us.
Actually, what you mean by that?
I don't know anyone else that knows as much about the actor Nicolas Cage as Aveshin.
Not just these movies. You know about him.
Yeah.
You've met him. You met this man.
I haven't. No. The thing is, until I started speaking to him about it, I didn't realize how strange this is. You know, there's a reason though. So, for some reason, there was like an English in primary school. So I was a child. It was an English like speech or presentation that you needed to do. And for some reason, unbeknownst to me, even now, I'm not sure, I decided to do it on Nicolas Cage. Now, now, hear me out, right? He's not
He
even
is
my
a national
favorite.
treasure.
He's not even like if someone he's not even like my favorite actor. I don't even think I have one, but that's not what would come to mind. But imagine if you were speaking to someone and imagine that your friends have kids and that's a normal thing, and then the kid's like, oh, the kid is doing a presentation, like, oh, that's interesting, like, what's the presentation about? Oh, it's about Robert Pattinson. Like, that would be weird. But, like,
Yeah.
why is the child?
Yeah.
So then I don't know what it was. So I did an entire presentation about Nicolas Cage, and I learned a whole lot about him and his movie. To be fair, I think it might stem from like I think Face Off is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it
Yeah.
was crazy good.
Great movie.
But yeah, I know, like, I didn't realize, but those facts and things that I know about Nicolas Cage are still there. They're still there, they still exist. I'm not especially, like, passionate about Nicolas Cage, but the information is still there.
Like, the birthday presents ideas are just firing.
No, I know.
Your birthday's around the corner, so we know
Yes.
what to get you.
However, it was really funny, and this is a segue. I was actually thinking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm like, I should probably tell Akash about
Yeah.
this. Maybe even this morning, actually, that somehow the
Okay.
thought came to me about, oh, right. I remembered another fact about Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
And like why because his real surname is Coppola,
Yes.
which is like his uncle, who's a famous movie
Yeah,
director.
I believe you. You know the most.
Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola is really famous.
Yeah.
But
I'm not gonna
he
disagree
wanted to
with you.
distance himself from that family and make his
Uh-huh.
own way in the acting industry, so not through nepotism. So he changed his surname to Cage. And
Yeah.
like, that's not a normal surname. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that it was because his favorite comic book hero was Luke Cage.
Ooh.
And like, so he changed it. No, and then I realized, imagine how cool it would have been when he got the Ghost Rider role.
Yeah.
Like, that must have been like a really big deal.
Any other interesting stuff that you guys learnt about me or each other?
Like off the top of my head, I think I always knew But I think I fully acknowledge that Sherwin may have spoken about photography, but this man want to cook.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. If we were, because maybe I could be wrong, if we were to put photography and cooking, which one?
Cooking.
Okay, so yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So like, I always knew he was interested, but like, he real interested. Like if I came with a decent business plan and capital, we'll start a restaurant right now.
Yeah.
I've thought about it so many times. I've looked at Uber Eats, how to set up a restaurant,
ghost
and
kitchen.
everything.
How to set up a restaurant?
Just like if it's like
We did toy with the idea of like to figure out like do a ghost kitchen,
figure out like two items,
two
how to
items,
make
yeah.
it really well, and sell it.
and then start selling to like friends and stuff and see if it hits off, and then like you don't need to start out like mass production, but you could like do something. But yeah, I think I always knew he had an interest, but no, that's passion. The man is passionate.
Yeah.
He wants to cook. He
One
wants to
hundred
feed.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
He wants to
I've-
feed.
I've never seen anyone put that much effort into making a chicken and mayonnaise sandwich.
Whenever this man like is cooking, it just feels like I'm watching like a clip of Robbie cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
It's
is
meticulous
effort.
with everything.
So like I think you just appreciate the process of preparing dishes.
I do.
Mm.
I enjoy it.
Which is, I mean, once I saw this man like oiling his wok after, I'm like, never. Yeah. Which is why I mean we got the knife, which
Yeah.
makes sense. So yeah, I'll say that it's not surprising. It just like reinforced thing.
For me, like a lot of the self-discovery stuff you've done this year, was,
Yeah.
like that's been a welcome surprise. That's pretty cool. The boxing also is like a big one, but we already talked about that. But the self-discovery stuff, very much, yeah, that's really good. And I think to be in a position where you feel like your life is going in the right direction is never a bad thing.
No,
So-
I agree with you completely. I feel like things have happened this year, which we will touch on later in the podcast. But it's like it's like it's like I think a lot of stuff. I worked really hard for certain things this year, and I like having it finally at the end is like, oh, okay. I see much like I have a lot of clarity about things now. So it's like, oh, okay, going forward, it's pretty good. So yeah.
Yeah. I think, I definitely would not have expected you to look at something Muay Thai.
Mm.
What? Huh? Hearing people? I think for you, I think the whole photography thing. Like I see your artistic direction and color scheme and things that you go for.
I'm actually this is a cool like
Mm.
segue. We were at work today. There was a new person that's like temporarily joining our team, and they were making everyone do an introduction and like say who you are, what your job is, and like an interesting fact about you. And then they got to me last, and then I was like blah blah blah, and I'm like I'm also an amateur photographer. And then about 3 people like really amateur. They were like, no, I think you're pretty intermediate. Like you're a photographer. I'm like, oh. People actually do agree, like, and to the point of where certain people in my team are actually trying to get me gigs as well. Like, so that's cool that other people agree. I think I'm good, which I think is good. But I mean, but it's cool to see other people agree.
No,
So,
I
yeah.
agree. I think, like I said, it's like your artistic eye shows in your photography. It's like the way you sort of use your colors and specific shots and things like that. It is pretty unique to your style. So I definitely think you have a good eye for photography.
Because I don't have regularly good eyes, so I'm glad that it's useful somewhere. No, it does line up with. It feels like the direction. And then as soon as I get a camera that can actually shoot video, we can actually do like stuff. But yeah.
Okay.
You know what surprises me about you that I discovered this year? It's not just like the photography part, but like your keen sense of production. Like you really understand like how to develop something, like in all aspects.
Yeah.
It's quite impressive. Like not a lot of people like know the steps.
I'm also not sure if he's getting picked up on the mic.
We'll add subtitles.
Okay.
But
Hopefully.
no, we have audio there, so it's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
But I hear you. I think it's more. Maybe that's what I don't know. I don't know where that comes from. It is genuinely interesting, like trying to get something off the ground from start to finish, and also I think it also comes from just over.
I think from the channel. Like
Yeah,
you
also-
start-
But this is the thing I actually want to say. Because of the way you look at production, I too have to. I also think about production in the same way. Like you not only is it that you do production now, you also elevate the people around you to think about the things in the same way, which is actually a very powerful thing if you actually consider it.
No, fair enough. I think it's like where I've actually found something I'm truly interested in, rather than a fly-by-night like hobby. Which again, I don't think the other ones are. But it's I think it's also part of like self-reliance of like, I know if I can figure out how to do this, I'll be able to do it. And like, so it's cool having the entire process and knowing how it operates, to then like be able to do way bigger things than this. I mean, if I didn't know, it was like, if I just came up randomly and was like, okay, let's start a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of know what that entails, but like the actual stuff of what it does. So I felt like I can't just come to you guys with a flippant idea of like, let's do it. Like, I need to actually know what I'm talking about, otherwise we won't do it.
No, I think it's very evident, like for other things that you've done as well. Like, you do try to gather as much knowledge as you can about something before you sort of actually put it out there, because you want to know what you're doing. You don't want to
pretty much. I can't rely only on luck.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys, that you've discovered about each other recently or over the course of the year?
Immune to the cold. Like I see this man in shorts and
It's hot.
Case in point. Case in point.
It's so hot.
Well,
What else we got? I didn't know. Like, you're a really big movie buff.
yeah.
Like, I think I'm really into the cinematography and how it's made, but you really enjoy movies. Like, it's staggering how many movies you've actually watched this year. It's also even crazier to me that you'll admit that the movie doesn't even look good, but you'll watch it anyway.
all your horror movies, man. Like,
You're actually movie buff, but you actually really like horror.
Yeah, I do. It is. I think it might be my favorite genre.
It's a
Yeah,
cool
it's really
genre.
interesting.
I also think it's like, also think it's like, I spent this year like really figuring out like stuff that I'm really still interested in and my passions and all of that stuff. So I think a lot of my movie stuff kind of came up a lot more this year, so it was more evident. And like, that's why I was like, oh, because I really enjoy this, let me just steer fully into it. And it's like, you might enjoy the cinematography part of it, but it's like, I really enjoy like the cinematic, like the experience.
The spectacle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like seeing character development, seeing story unfold on screen. It's like, those are the things that I really enjoy. I think it's like, I'm a fan of story, and I like seeing it on screen.
I agree, but I don't think I've watched as many.
No. I don't know anyone else that has watched as many horror movies as I have.
Yeah, I think you can
Some
confidently
really
say
mid
that.
horror movies.
It's actually ridiculous. I didn't even know these movies were existed. And yeah, fair enough. That's interesting. With you, it's like, I don't know. It's more like it feels like you found your career path, or it's like you've actually. It's crazy to me to think that you had one job before this, which was with me at a renewable energy company,
And then
and
after
then
we
you
said
joined
deuces,
joined as a, what was your original role when you joined Enclose?
I was just an intern,
An intern, and now you're a team leader,
manager.
a manager, which
Don't,
is like,
don't get it wrong.
huh?
He's a
Don't get it
manager.
Sorry. Which is pretty nuts when you think about like that company was pretty tiny, and like
Yeah, because it blew up, and everyone else blew up with it.
it's pretty crazy that like you've really gone like pretty far. Like it's pretty crazy.
No, I was actually telling Aakash, like, I look at the surroundings. I'm like, everything is different. Almost overnight, and you're like, whoa, we're like it's like a legit thing now. It's like, like proper everything. Structures have to change and everything like that. So it's actually pretty cool. How far I've come. I do acknowledge that my career was a little bit wobbly. Like I was unsure what I wanted to do. Because parts of me this year did want to be like, oh, I want to do more technical stuff again. And then I was like, and then I had to think about it. I was like, but what is the real thing that drives me? And I think building things is what drives me. Because if I think about it, I'm always trying to come up with something. Like there's MCP, there's my poetry, there's Lindo-based content. I'm always trying to do something. I'm always trying to there's always a project or something I'm trying to get invested in. To the point where I'm in all these projects now and I'm doing them almost simultaneously.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think my real drive is building stuff. Is building projects and being part of a group and making sure that we achieve something and it's cool and I guess yeah.
If I was interviewing you, I would have given you the job.
can't take another job now. I can't take another job.
Yeah, I also think it's really impressive because I told you earlier, it's like the where you've reached for your age is pretty impressive because having that experience of being in a room with people that are much older than you and then them actually taking you seriously, I've only experienced it once. That was during my interview for my new job, and it's like it's a very surreal experience to like realize like wait, I'm pretty young, but you are seriously listening to what I'm trying to say and actually like thinking it could work. So yeah, it's a pretty impressive thing to be in that position.
Yeah, especially from a person who considers themselves pretty non-serious as well. So it's like, to actually suggest something that is serious and then people listen to it, that's actually pretty nice, yeah.
I think it's, well done.
Yeah, fair enough, yeah.
Well done. Like, seriously. Okay. Okay. Moving along. If your life in 2023 had a soundtrack, what song would be playing at the most epic / emotional, whatever moment of your life? Like, the most recurring song you think?
Ooh, the most recurring song.
I actually
think I have a song that immediately came to mind
Oh,
because
okay.
I had a dream about this
Okay.
like last week.
Okay.
It's an M83 song. It's called Outro.
Oh, I've heard it.
I haven't, but
M83.
Any particular?
that's Midnight City people, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm not sure why. It's just like the slow build up to the big instrumental.
Okay.
And the huge like scene. It's just I don't know why. Just
Anyone else?
There was a song that just escaped me now.
Well, I could probably guess your.
Okay, wait, guess
What,
another.
Sprinter?
No, it's not Central C.
Put 9
I was-
cow.
It's not Central C. No, it's not No.
No, I was thinking it was been Sprinter, to be
No,
honest.
it's
like,
not.
it
I
feels
think,
impactful.
For me, it was probably Am I Dreaming of Metro Booming?
Oh,
Am I
yeah.
Mine too. Actually, yes.
Now that I think about
Because I think it's like, I know that this, especially because of this year and speaking to you and everyone else about music, like I've unlocked this entire sort of side of understanding music and enjoying it. But my life until now, it's like I've always developed like an emotional attachment to songs. And I feel like if a song can make me feel something, then I'm going to like it a lot more. And that song sort of, it really captured a very like somber, like, but also hopeful experience. And it's like, there's specific moments across the year when I was like, oh, this really just fits the feeling. And it's like for example, yesterday when I had to do the gym battle and after I fought.
Yeah.
So after I fought him and like the match was over and I had like about half an hour to kill before fitness started, I just went and sat on the ground and I had my headphones on and I was like just thinking about the sitting in a boxing gym, looking at that ring and be like, I want to be fighting there on the first in front of a crowd.
You really had your movie moments.
And I was sitting there, I was like, that is such a incredible experience or weird feeling. And I was like, that song was like what I was listening to. I was like, it just fit the moment. And I think there's been lots of times this year where it's like I've had those moments where it's been like something has happened and then I've just sat and like processed it and thought about it and it's like, oh, this just fits that feeling of like, okay, it's a very somber feeling, but there is like this sort of hopeful thing that I'm going to be doing stuff in the future. Yeah, I think it just captures that.
I think Am I Dreaming has had the exact same effect on me. That like when the song because like obviously when I watched Across the Spider-Verse and it like okay, I'm not gonna if you haven't watched the movie, that's a skill issue.
No, you can spoil like that's they're honestly their fault.
It's a skill issue on your end. You gotta watch it plays at the end, and right after you just finish watching the movie, like what just happened, and it's like it just play. It really does capture moments very well, at least for me.
Yeah, no, I think so.
I get what you mean. I mean, I read the same thing where the song feels hopeful. What's yours?
I don't really know. The way I go through music is like on a month-to-month basis.
Yeah.
I literally since like 2021 or 2020, I have a playlist for every month of the year. Like I haven't missed one, and like so literally the songs I was listening to last month, I literally stop, and in November I find new music.
Okay.
So it's hard to like remember like a single song that has like permeated throughout. But I can there's like songs that like that like are more constant than others, I guess. The shit, I just had it now. I can't remember. But you guys said the Spider-Verse soundtrack was like a big deal, but I don't like remember a particular song I don't know.
Has there been like a song that resonated with you the most?
Oh, okay. I can tell you what my current favorite song is.
Okay,
And, like
yeah,
I think
that
it's,
works.
I've listened to it so much that I actually think it'll affect my Spotify stats for the end of the year.
I think
Okay.
it's close.
Like, huh?
Oh, I
it's
think I
close,
know which song you're talking about. Is it the Corbin?
Yeah, dude, Corbin, who's a random guy that I didn't know about, was the song is "Tell Me" by Corbin. It's like, it reminds me of like old Joji, but it fits like it just like I just keep the song is sad, but I don't like it's not, I don't
Nice to
associate
listen
it to
to.
sad. It's like it just feels like such a good song. Like I don't know what else to say. Like, but yeah, that song has been like pretty like right now. But if I were to pick a song that's just constantly popping back up, it's that you told me that Childish Gambino's albums are now back on Spotify, and like it's
Wait,
like
why were they taken off?
they were never on.
They were never
Not
on.
for South Africa. They had
Oh.
licensing issues, and then 10 years after its release, 2013, they're now there. And like, dude, Telegraph Avenue, Oakland is like a constant song that will just always
Yeah.
be, just will always be around.
I think
Did I
it's-
tell you how
yeah.
that I found that out?
No.
It was I was playing another song, and then all of a sudden I hit 2005, and I was singing.
It was like, wait a minute.
And I'm like, wait, why am I singing this song? I don't have this song. What the
Yeah.
Because I remember one day I just opened my like friends activity, and I saw like 4 people listening to.
Childish
Yeah.
And I think I would say, okay, Corbin, I think that's gonna.
Yeah.
I like that song so much. I went back and listened to all his music, and like he's amazing. I think he'll blow up, but irrelevant. The Childish Gambino one, I think it is really important because it's 2013, which would have been matric year,
Yeah.
which is when I kind of found out about music outside of rock music. Because I remember, like, as someone told me about Childish Gambino, I think it was Gavin, and I thought that was a Hispanic man because Gambino, I didn't know it was Donald Glover because, and I watched Community, I don't know, but I found thing and like I've been playing that album since 2013. It's been 10 years now, and it's crazy because it's not on Spotify. I don't actually listen to the album, but as soon as I listen to it again, like I know every word of the whole album from start to finish, and the album after that, like.
Okay.
Even the interludes, the non-music parts, like it's in my brain.
Do you
So-
like know like why he picked his name or what the name means? Because I just
yeah,
had
it
like
was-
I had a separate thought now
I do.
while you were speaking.
His name was from a Wu-Tang Clan name generator.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was random.
A Wu-Tang Clan name generator.
Yeah, there's actually no like real meaning.
Yeah, there's no. He just picked.
Because I was like, damn, isn't that like a Berserk fan or?
No.
Yeah.
It said that he wanted a rap name. He went to a
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Clan generic, got Childish
Okay.
Gambino. It's like
Yeah, I agree
Okay.
with you. Telegraph Avenue, I think it's one of my favorite like night drive songs. Maybe because he's saying foot on the gas, but I don't know.
very natural.
Do you all have any albums like that that resonate
Albums.
that resonates with you all
That one.
over years? And
Because
years
the
and years?
internet.
I mean, I'd say just being the type of person that I am, and it's like I've only really opened up to music after I moved to Cape Town because I think I was just stuck in this bubble when I was in Durban, and then when I moved here, it's like speaking to you guys more and like having stuff. You guys play music in my car when we're driving. It's like I just got exposed to so much. But it's like what's been consistent is like Minister Munna by Lincoln Park.
Yeah, fair
Like-
enough.
Solid.
Bang up.
Solid.
In the
That's
year
solid.
of our Lord and
So-
Savior.
Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
So both of Dave's albums, Psychodrama and
Three.
Wait,
what's
no,
it?
it's called We're All in This Together.
We're all on this.
Well, actually, everything by Dave, really. Like everyone knows. I'm a big Dave fan. He doesn't miss for me ever. So,
I
but yeah,
agree.
but those two albums were especially We're All in This Together because I thought, oh, Psychodrama is amazing. He's never gonna top this. Was I in for a shock?
I agree.
So yeah.
I think I have Simple Tunnel, Shopping Me the Horizon. Like I know every word to every song in the album.
Yeah.
It's also the first international band I ever saw,
Oh, live.
and they played that album, so kind of just cemented it.
Okay,
Oh,
that yeah, that's you know, if you ever wondered why that's there you go. That's as clear cut as it could be. Fair enough.
It's not that long, okay, no. And Sundowning by Sleep Token.
So you're saying like start to finish, you'll listen to the whole album. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. Start to finish, I don't know, like maybe
Kid Mad City will still get a bump.
Yeah, it does, but then it's also like a very. I find that album really hard to like listen to casually.
No,
Wait, what
Kendrick
album?
isn't casual, man. Like
Kendrick Lamar, Good
Oh.
Kid, Mad City, because in between the actual rap, there's a whole
the
interviews going
the
on.
skits are going mad. People are
Bring my
getting
car
shots.
back and, like,
Yeah.
there's a whole. Weirdly enough, honestly, The Weeknd Starboy,
Yeah.
dude.
The Weekend's After Hours. Yes.
Yeah.
yes. So, but yeah. Sorry.
No,
As soon as you
No,
as soon as you just before the pandemic, this album dropped. I remember listening to it. When I played that first track, my entire life changed, guys. That was guys. I listened to The Weeknd, and I didn't just listen. I just listened to that album at work. I was listening to that album it was the only album I was listening to. I was listening to nothing else the entire year. When they did the Spotify thing or whatever, it's like, no, top artist of the year. It's like, it's obvious. I'm listening. At one point, I was the top listener for The Weeknd because I was only streaming that song.
You mean in the world?
The world.
That's pretty crazy.
I was
the number one.
I was well, probably not number one. I think maybe
You know, he's peddling falsehoods.
maybe 0.03, not number one. I don't know. I still have to deal with people who stream in their sleep most.
Yeah.
But I was very close to that, and like, yeah, it was crazy. That anyway. Sorry. That album it really was. It was just game changing for me.
I also think the reason why I find this question really hard to answer, I intentionally look for new music. Like, I intentionally, like, okay, I know the song is good. It's in the playlist. I can go back.
Have you ever had a song that like has bled through the entire year where you've listened to it and you know you really enjoyed it whenever you listen to it?
No, they are, but then I they're in the playlist. I won't, and the thing
okay.
is, I don't have a playlist that contains all my playlists. So
Yeah.
if I want to play a playlist, I'll need to just like pick a month, and that month is not gonna bleed into another one.
Okay.
But every now and then, like, tell me, literally every day you'll get a play somewhere there, and then Childish Gambino, Safe, and a lot of MGK stuff as well.
Yeah.
He hasn't dropped music in a while, but I'll go back.
Okay. Interesting takes on everybody. I liked the whole album part of it as well. Yeah. Okay. What anime / TV show / movie cliche or trope do you think describes a moment in your life this year?
I thought that question was going
Yeah.
a different
Yeah,
that describes
A moment in your life.
Vinland Saga. Orphan and his father rips out to the meat fields. This is
I mean, it's not like as in depth. It's like, you know, the tropiness, like some kind of moment that happened that you're like, huh.
You know when I've got a good example.
Go for it.
Go for it.
So Naruto, right?
Yeah.
So Naruto's the main character of his TV show, right? Now there's Boruto.
Yeah.
So Boruto's the main character, and Naruto's just some background character. He OP,
Yeah.
but he's some background. I feel like Naruto in Boruto. This year, I felt like Naruto.
That's so
but the
interesting.
Boruto, like I just felt like I'm like this. I used to be this really OP man. Now I'm just like some background character. These other people are living their lives. I'm still good. People still enjoy me and everything. But it's like it's not my story. I feel like my story concluded.
So interesting.
Wow.
It's just so weird. Like I'm living my own life and I do my own things and I'm still the main character of my own story. But the story isn't being told from my POV, I guess. Or
Do you
whatever.
feel like it's because you like live on your own and stuff?
Well, there's that. There's definitely that. There's also obviously the stuff with me now becoming manager as well. So like a lot of things I have to just like sit back and rather observe rather than getting involved immediately. So that's why I feel that way. That's a trope that I've really felt.
Wow, that is a really good answer.
Yeah, I think it's like a very like leading from behind, almost like a teacher and nurturer
That's fair.
kind of thing.
Isn't Naruto
Yeah, he's
Hokage
like
and Boruto?
Yeah, exactly. Literally, like, he's literally sitting back and that's really interesting. I can't think of a particular
I'm trying
trope,
really hard.
but I will say because we do live together and the amount of random shit that keeps happening and like the changes, like honestly, kind of life-changing changes are just happening. It literally feels like every day is the this is the set of a sitcom,
Yeah.
and then every time you walk in, it's like in
Events
today's
happen.
episode.
Yeah, no, we've had
This
many
is happening.
discussions.
Yeah.
And it's like
Mm.
every day is like this season is at the end. Why do we keep throwing new plot lines? Can we
You
not
guys
like
are
tie
literally
up some loose?
Seinfeld.
For next season.
Like, can we just like close off some plot line? Let them have a fuller episode every now and
we,
then.
We
It's
have
like-
to create some, intrigue for next season.
No, I hear
We
you.
need the
I
beach episode.
I can't. But
Or
yeah,
the fireworks episode.
yeah.
There's
There's
a firework
the
festival.
festival.
I don't
yeah,
know. I don't know. Diwali is this weekend, show. I don't know, bro.
Daisy's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Daisy,
Daisies.
the Daisy's
Yeah.
episode's gonna be interesting.
Daisy's
Yeah.
OVA is
I feel like
happening,
the slice of life trope is just me come in
Yeah.
very often this year.
But I mean, it's a slice of life just living normal life.
Mm.
So what are
Yeah,
you
but it's
referring
like
to?
slightly glorified, you know.
Romanticized?
Yeah, sorry, romanticized.
You feel like you're romanticizing your life more?
No.
I think I am. Well, see,
Yeah.
I think I've always had a gigantic ego and a ridiculous self-belief, so I don't think
Mm.
it's anything new.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does feel like a TV show. Like straight up, it really does feel like a TV show. Like things are objectively interesting.
yeah.
I
think
would
it's-
watch my life.
Hmm.
That might be the most conceited thing I've ever said. But you know what? But I do agree. I'm not kidding.
No, like
I'll stand by that.
For the
No,
longest
actually,
time, I believed
yeah.
that was the main character.
Yeah.
For the
Yeah.
longest time, I mean, it's only now I'm like, Lindo, I don't think. I think now it's your time is
You're in a full
done.
arc right now.
I,
Am I in a full
yeah.
No.
No, I don't think so. I also think I don't think that's actually a conceited thing. I think it's actually a very
Yeah.
positive sort of mindset to have, because you haven't reached a state of apathy where you are just so done
Definitely
with your
not.
life. I think that's a
Yeah.
really good thing to actually still be consciously deliberate and enjoying what you're doing. It's
Yeah.
so it's just a good sign that you still find what you're doing interesting. Because I think many people reach that state of apathy in life and they kind of just switch off, try to distract themselves, and you are actually living
To
the
be fair,
experience.
I think that is literally one of my greatest fears.
Hmm.
Is that becoming apathetic and having no interest, and you just you are existing and not living.
Yeah.
Seems like the worst actual
I-
outcome.
I agree.
If every day is just passing by, and if someone asks
Mm.
you what did you do, and it's there's nothing,
Yeah.
that's kind of horrifying. to me.
That is
Mm.
extremely hectic.
It is horrifying, and it's very odd as well. Asking, so many people oh, what do you do this weekend? And then
Mm.
a few months ago we'll be oh, on Friday we did this and this and this, and on Saturday we did this, we shot this podcast, and on Sunday
Yeah.
we went there, and why are you doing so many things? And I think it was because of
Yeah.
trying if you're doing something, that means you're trying new experiences.
Yeah.
But I think I've now acknowledged that maybe we've been going overboard maybe from the start of the year. But even
Yeah.
now, it still feels like I don't think that these things are strange. But when I tell it to other people, they're like, "What did we do the other day? We went to a horror short film festival."
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Mm.
I thought it was very normal.
Mm.
And then "Oh, what did you do the other day? Oh no, I helped a man shoot a music video."
Mm.
Oh,
I also
okay.
I also think it is a product of us living together and all of us having different interests.
yeah.
And it's we went to the horror fest because of me, and then the music video stuff was because you met that guy. And it's we are always sort of going with each other to these things because we all want to experience it
Yeah,
as
pretty
well.
much.
So I think that sort of adds to a lot of things. And yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing at all because I agree with you completely. I feel the same way. I don't want to reach that point of
I don't think any of us
apathetic.
I don't think any of us are close either to reaching that stage.
Yeah, I would hope not.
Yeah, no, I think so. But yeah, I can't pin down a trope.
Hmm.
But
I mean, it's weird that you say that because I'm probably out of all of us the closest person that has kind of allowed some days to just kind of pass by.
oh yeah,
Mm.
Kind of on purpose, just to see what it is to actually be alone with yourself.
Okay.
Purposely this year.
Just dab each
Hey.
other off.
your vampire diary speaking of facts, though. I really do.
It's
agree
I'm
with
not a good person.
that. Yeah.
No, I get it.
I think so. I would not consider myself a good person.
I also
I don't
think,
think I'm a bad person.
yeah,
I'm
that's
just
the
a
thing.
good
I think the
person.
idea of good has just
You-
been so exaggerated that
You've done the moral alignment testing.
The moral
No, I haven't. I'm pretty sure I would come out neutral.
evil.
What is that, the baby
I was
and one trap, two
I was
people on the
chaotic
other?
neutral at one point, and then I went to
No,
neutral.
no.
So basically, it's divided into
Yeah, you're 9.
yeah. There's 9 of them, so you can either be
It's your D&D.
Yeah, you're lawful
it's your
good,
D&D,
lawful evil.
Your D&D.
Oh,
no.
actual.
okay.
Mm.
Yeah, so I got neutral good. Well,
What sort
neutral,
of questions are they ask?
I forgot, but like it's been like 2 years since the test.
We can do it when we're eating.
Yeah, I haven't done it either because yeah, I don't. I also don't think I'm like a good person, but it's like I'm not a bad person either. So
Yeah, can be.
What is a good person?
so I think like the idea of good, especially because of social media and stuff, is like you know, you're always kind of self-sacrificing, always kind of putting others first, not like, you know,
I
being
don't
that
think
guy.
that's true.
I also
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider that good because the
Yeah.
always, that means you're not looking after yourself,
Yeah.
which then inherently feels misguided.
Yeah, that's the thing is like I think the idea is sometimes if you look after yourself, you can come across as selfish. So that's where it kind of does, you do get a misunderstanding there. So that idea of good is what I consider people like, oh, he's a good person. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Anyway.
think the good and bad is being like heavily skewed with like just how much stuff.
No, I agree. I think media has skewed a lot of things.
But I think
100%.
like generally speaking, most people are fairly good. Like,
Most
all of
people-
you guys are pretty
Yeah.
good. I mean,
No.
not in the sense of like
You
Jesus or Jesus.
Yeah,
I feel like we
But
don't
like,
know enough
as
about him to
decent
make
people.
that.
I
like,
already-
in, like in your bubble.
Yeah,
Like, you are a
essentially.
good
Yeah,
person.
Yeah.
on that note.
I 100% agree.
Sure, okay.
Help the blind at university.
Not by choice. I wanted to make a smart bullet.
You say not by choice, but you did it anyway.
to get my degree.
To get his degree.
To get my degree.
But okay, no. Let's go to the next question.
No, I was with this man through that whole process.
I don't want to.
know
I don't want to stir
exactly.
the pot on purpose.
Yeah,
But
it's okay. But anyway, share books, movies, or piece of media that has left a lasting impression on
The
you
bear.
this year. So it's upside down.
Wait, that's interesting. Wait, tell me why.
Yeah.
Why? Cause so you don't buy manga for one,
I
but
have not.
but you went out of your way to actually buy 2 physical copies
know,
of this
This,
arc.
this,
It must be more than just enjoyment.
the story in this arc and the emotional connection between Geto and Gojo and the whole like tragedy of it all. I don't know. It just affected me a lot. Like I was actually properly sad
Oh,
for
interesting.
like 2 weeks after.
2 weeks.
Wow.
Like I read up so much about it. Like just the ending song
Oh,
and
that
the
had
opening
that.
song. They both like letters to each other supposedly. Like one is
Sure.
from Gojo's perspective, one is from Geto's perspective. The whole thing of them being equals throughout the entire show, and then there's a
Until-
whole power
yeah.
flip, and then the sort of the whole distancing between them as it happens. Like usually you see that sort of thing between romantic partners most of the time,
Oh, like
a lot of the time.
okay. Yeah.
Okay.
This time it's just between friends.
Okay.
So,
I just
so a
really,
piece of
really
media
enjoyed
that,
Really left a lasting impression on you.
guys, this is gonna sound very out of. Ant-Man Quantumania.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
Listen,
I'm a swear.
you said a lasting impression. I didn't say it was
Okay.
good.
Oh.
I didn't say it was good.
Okay, yeah.
It actually, you know what the thing is, that when I watched that movie, I realized I was like,
The age of Marvel.
I realized the age of Marvel is dead. Number one, number two, but it also made me realize that the entertainment I'm choosing to spend my time is really, it's just, I'm just wasting it. Like, why am I going to see these guys now do this thing when I can clearly just do anything else?
Did you sit through the entire movie?
I also watched it.
I watched it in bed, so like, and I'm close to going to sleep.
And
Like,
like afterwards you were like, why did I do this?
no, I didn't feel anything. That's even worse, actually. I didn't feel like, I was like, oh, it's like, really? Like, you guys spend all this money on this? Like, that's crazy. Like, you could have given it to the poor, really. I'm sorry, that was a bit much. But like, Marvel really, the Marvel in general just left a lasting impression. Where it's like, entertainment, especially from Americans, is not as great as it used to be. And I can create my own entertainment. Like, why don't I just do that? Why don't I just start my own media company? But anyway, I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
That last part was a joke. Last part was a joke.
Okay.
It left a lasting impression in terms of like, that's why I don't watch a lot of series anymore. I don't watch a lot because it's like,
Okay.
I go into the thing. Is it gonna be good? I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
is it gonna get cancelled after 2 seasons? I don't know. So I'd rather just not touch anything. That movie showed me that most
So-
entertainment.
Okay, so what do you watch now? Like, what do you watch? Like, what do you after this realization? Like, what have you been filling your entertainment with?
I watch a lot of YouTube,
Yeah,
like a lot of different YouTubers. Obviously, you know, I watch like the Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Content creators.
Wait, oh, the content. I thought you like still followed the show.
The show still goes.
There's a whole other
No,
generation.
it's like
I-
season 8 or something.
No.
There's a whole other generation. now.
Okay, I'm about to.
But he knows.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that now. We're not doing that now. We're not doing that now.
No.
But yeah, it's mostly YouTube. I do the shows I'm currently watching now are ones I've already watched previously.
Okay, so you know they're gonna be good. Is there any new
Yeah,
thing you
I
picked
finished
up?
Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
Okay, is there anything you picked up that was not from a previous IP or like season?
no,
Oh,
I've not
shit,
picked
okay.
up anything at all
That's really interesting.
because I just realized that I can't put my stock in anything anymore. I feel like I can't trust media houses to give me a good story or B to produce something longer than 3 seasons. That's good, you know. So I just
Okay.
I just gave up.
Yeah. But also, as you said, the bear.
Yeah.
Like,
What is the bear? I might
Tell
actually watch that.
Like, what impression has the bear left on you? Because
Yeah, because he obviously like
he loves cooking.
Yeah. I enjoy cooking, but not like that. Like, but it's more like I think it was the just showing the behind the scenes of how a restaurant operates, which I find fascinating, and seeing
Yeah.
how chefs come up with
Oh, is
dishes.
that the Disney show?
What? No.
No.
Oh, it's on Disney Plus. Sorry.
Oh, I don't know
Oh,
where
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Yeah, illegally downloaded. But
It's
But-
really good.
But it's more like I was blown away. But again, we probably took different things. But I was blown away by the show itself. Like the way, like it was so captivating and so compelling. Like every episode just they also used like the techniques they used to draw the audience in and to
Yeah.
keep them invested in what was going on was crazy. Like everything
The way
was
they
there
shot
to
certain
keep
scenes,
to
yeah.
keep you have tension, to let you have tension, to draw you in, to like when the characters were feeling stressed, they got you stressed out as
Yeah.
well. And the way they shot it was like you were just along for the ride, and the ride was crazy. But so I'm just and the acting really good overall. They also like did a lot of scenes that you don't normally see do really well. Like one entire episode, almost the entire thing was just about a family dinner.
Yeah.
One of the most crazy things I've seen, just showing you a crazy like family dichotomy,
Yeah.
was bizarre. But also I do enjoy the food part.
Okay.
But I think I took the show was just like a masterpiece.
You said like a really interesting thing there, where you said like it drew you in and made you feel stressed and stuff, and then you mentioned acting separately, which means that everything you mentioned before was about the cinematography, how it was shot,
Yeah.
all of that stuff.
No,
I think it's like a combination.
I think it is. It is a combination of like those things, but I don't. It's not like it's without the acting, but
Yeah.
like again, I view like what I think good acting is and is whatever, but I think it's like it's all the elements really draw you in.
Okay.
Like you feel like you are actually in the shop and like are feeling the same like they really convey stress,
Really well.
urgency, and like pedanticism. Is that a
Yeah,
word?
that's a word.
Great. Like they show them like really well. Like you're actually there are parts in like the first episode where I actually caught myself holding my breath because of like
Yeah.
they're like it's just running, the music is going, and then there's a scene where he slams the oven door shut and he takes a breath, and then you
Okay.
realize, oh, I've also not been breathing.
Okay, so they full you, immerse you.
Yeah,
fully
Like
immerse
you can feel your heart rate go up at certain points.
Crazy.
It's really high octane.
That's really impressive. Yeah. I think for me, I've read so many books this year, like at almost 14, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I think like it was like I said, I was spent so much of time sort of rediscovering things that I had sort of put to the side before, and actually figuring out, oh, do I actually like really want to consider this before? Like, you know, because before I'd always say like, you know, I love reading, but when was the last time I actually like read a book? So yeah. So like there was a few books that actually left a lasting impression on me. One was, I think I spoke to you about it. It was called like No More Mr. Nice Guy. It's not like something that's gonna make you turn you into a mean person. But
I've
it
never
was
seen Lindo make that face before.
yeah,
No, the title's funny. The title's
yeah. It's
funny.
like it's a misleading title about like, you know, become a mean person, but it's actually not. I think it really brought to the surface a lot of like thoughts that I never had before about what it's like to like actually grow up as a male. And it's like similarly, like, you know, we're talking about like how it is like growing up in like in a school environment and female teachers and all of that stuff, and it present like a really like level field view of everything. We didn't swing to one side of like, be a terrible human being, or like, be mean all the time, or be super nice. It was like such a like a grounded take on everything, and it made me sort of sit back and actually think about like one thing that they mention is like there's a sort of like silent competitiveness that happens between male friends, where it's like you find out someone
specifically male friends.
yeah, it's like at least he mentions it in the book. I don't know if it happens. It's a male author, so yeah, and it's like I actually started to notice that. So I was like, oh, am I actually somebody like that? Where it's like you notice somebody is doing something new, and you're like, oh, I just want to do it, and you don't even have like an interest in it. You're just like, oh, I want to do it because they're doing it, or they're talking about. So I need to do something that's on their level, and it's like it sort of presented this idea of like, oh, kind of just focus on your stuff that you really enjoy, and you will stand out enough because you have your passions, and you can't actually sort of like fake the passion somebody else has when they genuinely are passionate about it. It was just such an interesting book to read, and it was like a lot of ideas that I never thought about before, because it was just like these really like real thoughts that somebody had about what it was like to grow up as a male, and it was like,
That's actually pretty interesting. It's like,
And-
be yourself.
yeah, pretty much. What you take away from it, but that was just like one part that really stuck out to me, and yeah, and it was like a lot about like being honest about things, and like I like how he made like a bit of a disclaimer in the beginning. Is like if you actually like sort of follow the things that he says, it's like you either gonna have one or two things happen to you. Either people are not gonna like you anymore because they're so used to being the way that you are, and then if you either like gonna stand up for yourself more, sort of present yourself in a more authentic way, you're gonna get a lot more friends because people will actually like you a lot more. And yeah, besides that book, there's a book called The Choice by Dr. Edith Edger, something like that. She's also a Holocaust survivor, but it's like her first chapter is only about that's the only thing she talks about the Holocaust, and it's like everything after that is literally her experience being a teenager surviving the Holocaust and her life until she dies. It was one of the most interesting things I've ever read, because it's like she talks about some of the most real emotions ever, and she puts it down on paper. There's one scene where like she marries somebody that's about 10 years older than she is, and she's talking to this guy, and then he's like a really good pianist, like a
I know
Yeah.
what you mean. Yes.
Yes. So, and the thing is like she sort of has an older sister who's really good at playing the violin. So she has this conversation with him, and like she had this whole insecure moment of like, wouldn't you have preferred to just marry my sister because you both have music is such a big deal in your life? And then he was just like, no. And then she sort of talks about it in the sense of like she projected her own fear onto this person, and she was upset at the way he reacted because something that was a big deal to her, he kind of just brushed it aside, and it may not have just been a big deal to him. And it was like that was such an interesting way to articulate that into like words, because it's a very complex emotion, and not a lot of people talk about things like that. And I was like, wow, you've really done a good job of putting that on paper. And it was just so interesting to see how she talks about being a child, growing up an adult, having kids, and then returning to Auschwitz later on, and seeing how all of that plays into like her life. I think it might be actually one of my favorite books I've ever read. So yeah.
I need to read more books.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to listen to more audiobooks.
That's the thing, it's like it's not really an autobiography, and like I think I mentioned to you guys before, it's like self-help books are great, but they just present you a lot of like textbook information, and I prefer books like this because you're actually following somebody putting those things into practice, and you're like, oh, these are like real stories, somebody's actually lived this life. And it's like, I think the more famous version of this book or something similar would be like the Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. So yeah, she actually met him, but he kind of inspired her to write her story. So yeah, that was I think one of the most impactful things.
Oh, really, The Alchemist. Really, I think that reached me at the right time to read that book.
Probably need to touch that book at some point.
It's cool.
Yeah,
We
it's a good
should.
book. But
Yeah.
popular pieces of media. Okay, and I think for our final question, what are some interesting things you've learned about yourself over the past year?